Oh, yay, oh, yay, oh, yay. The Honorable Supreme Court of Tennessee is now in session. The Honorable Chief Justice Jeffrey S. Bivins presiding. God save the United States of America, the state of Tennessee, and this honorable court.
Thank you very much, Jim. It's a pleasure to be with you all here today. I know it's certainly not the way in which any of us had envisioned just a few months ago as to how we will be doing this. You know, over the past few years, our court has made a priority of holding these admission ceremonies to honor you as new admittees to the bar. In the month of November, for those that have taken the July exam in the past, we literally travel across the state, the entire court, holding ceremonies from Knoxville all the way over to Memphis. For the February bar, we have gone to regional swearing-in ceremonies because there's just certainly the number of folks participating are certainly not anywhere near what they are in the November ceremonies. But we have, over the past few years, had those regional ceremonies in person so we can highlight the accomplishments of you as new law school graduates and newly passed the bar exam, as well as having an opportunity for your family and friends to share in that as well. Since we were not able to do that as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic that has unfortunately hit our state and our country, we as a court still felt like it was very important to provide you with an opportunity for there to be some type of ceremony, for there to be some honoring of you, as well as an opportunity for your families to participate as well. So thanks to the hard work of Mr. Hivner and Mr. Morgan and all the AOC, Administrative Office of the court staff, we're now able to do that. And this is actually the second of 5 video conference ceremonies that we're doing on Zoom, all of which are live streamed through YouTube as a way to where friends and family can see you and participate in that. Each one of us, as the 5 justices, is doing one of these. Justice Clark did a ceremony this morning. I am doing this one, and then we will have Justice Lee will perform one tomorrow afternoon, and Justice Kirby and Justice Page will conclude the 5 with one in the morning and one in the afternoon on Thursday. So we do want to take this opportunity to say we are very proud of what you've done. We know you and your family are very proud of what you've done. Also, it's a time to remember that you've not gotten here by yourself. You have had a lot of support by friends and family, and in various combinations with each of you having an individual story, I'm sure. But please take this time, that is at least a part of time of celebration, to thank those folks who have been with you, who have helped to get you through this. We all still understand that getting through law school and passing a bar examination is no small accomplishment. But it's particularly been, I know, very problematic for you folks from the standpoint of many of you just having graduated from law school and having those last few months cut short, preparing for the bar exam, taking it, and all of those things that have occurred in our society today. So we feel like this is an important part of doing that. I do want to take a moment too to remind you that this is a privilege to practice law in the state of Tennessee or wherever you are practicing. It is something that you have worked very hard to do, but with it comes not only the honor of that, but the responsibility of it as well. I'm sure that many of you have already participated in pro bono activities during the course of your law school career, and perhaps even since you have been out of law school. And to the extent that those of you that have, I want to commend you greatly for doing that. You know, for those of you that have not, please, whatever you do, become involved in those immediately. This pandemic has only heightened drastically the need for legal representation for many of our citizens who cannot normally afford to pay a lawyer for their services. There are so many issues that have, some of which have already arisen, many of which have not already arisen and will do so in the future. So please make yourself available. make sure that you do return something to the profession for about which you're ready to enter. With that being said, I think we are ready to kind of move forward in our ceremony. I want to give Ms. Sarah Shepard, I know Ms. Shepard's been introduced to you as the TBA, Tennessee Bar Association president, and I want to give Ms. Shepard an opportunity to say a few words on behalf of the Tennessee Bar Association and encourage you to participate in their activities and join their organization. Ms. Shepard.
Thank you, Your Honor. It is my pleasure and privilege to serve as president of the Tennessee Bar Association. And my journey in doing work with the Bar Association began not long after I was where you are now. And it has been an incredible opportunity over these many years to make friends, to network with people, to learn about how things work in the practice of law. I was kind of shocked to discover as a newly minted lawyer that I really didn't know much about how to practice law when I got sworn in. And it is on the shoulders of those that came before me and those that have come before you that those opportunities and will arise, and those people to help you are out there, and many of them are in the Bar Association. It's a good way to network if you're looking for a job. Many of us maybe had a job when we got licensed, but that might not be the job we're in now. And those networking opportunities can help in future vocational efforts. The YLD, the Young Lawyers Division of the Tennessee Bar Association, is our service division. And just as the Chief Justice was alluding to pro bono work, the YLD, oh my gosh, I can't tell you how much good they do for the state of Tennessee and for beneficiaries of the judicial system. But it's also one of the most rewarding and fun opportunities you can possibly have. So I encourage you to join the Tennessee Bar Association and to make the most of the opportunities, educational, fellowship, service, the list goes on and on. Your Bar Association exists for the members of our profession at many, many different levels, and we hope that you will be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shepard. As also, before we begin the actual introductions, I want to point out to you too the efforts that we have made as a court in our entire judicial system with lawyers and judges throughout to make sure that our courts have remained open during this time. While we have had to restrict the in-person court proceedings, I am very proud of what our judiciary has done as far as being innovative and making opportunities for their dockets to go forward. Many are performing dockets or handling dockets by way of video conferencing. Some matters are being done by teleconferencing. We've even had a couple of judges who are so innovative, they have set up activities in their parking lots of their offices, and while they maintain social distancing and scheduling, but to allow some of those folks that don't have access, particularly in rural areas, to bandwidth, to broadband, or to the internet as a whole, or to have a computer, allowing those folks to continue to receive justice. So our courts have not shut down for a single day during this process, and we're very proud. But that takes the work of everyone, and that will include you as new members of this profession. So with that being said, I think it is time to move into our ceremony so that we can honor each of you on an individual basis. And so we will begin with the process. And Mr. Starling, I think I have remembered to recognize you, because I think you're starting out as we begin with those invitees that have individual sponsors here today.
May it please the court, I'm James Starling, and I'm a member of the Tennessee Bar. I'd like to introduce Raven Hernandez. Raven is a graduate of Pepperdine School of Law, where she spearheaded an initiative to provide students access to healthy food options on campus, and is now co-founding a green startup here in Nashville. Raven has successfully completed all the requirements to practice law before this bar, and I therefore move for Raven's admission to the practice of law before this court and in the court of Tennessee.
Thank you, Mr. Starling. On behalf of the court, I'm very pleased to grant that motion as well. Ms. Hernandez, it sounds like you are off to a great start as far as your work in the pro bono area, and you're returning something to the profession. And I thank you very much for that, and congratulate you on what you've done, and wish you the best of luck in your practice of law in the state of Tennessee.
Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Stegall.
My name is Patrick Stegall. I'm a nearly 15-year member of the Tennessee Bar. My practice is in Memphis. I remember the day I got sworn in, I had an attorney friend, mentor introduce me, so I'm pleased to be able to do the same thing. With me here today is Miss Amy Petrowski. Ms. Petrowski is a member of the Mississippi Bar and has an established practice in the state of Mississippi and has now completed the requirements for admission in Tennessee. Ms. Petrowski is a former United States Marine and a very good friend of mine. So I move for her admission to practice law in Tennessee.
Mr. Stegall, I'm very happy on behalf of the court to grant that motion. Ms. Petrowski, let me first say thank you for your service to our country.
Thank you.
Also welcome you to the practice of law in the state of Tennessee and wish you the best. We're glad to have you as a practicing lawyer in the state of Tennessee.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hicks.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. John Hicks of the National Bar. It's my privilege to introduce to the court Brian Pike. Brian is a graduate of the Michigan State Law School. He is already a member of both the Michigan and the New York bars, which means, if it please the court, that he has already done something that I know I will never do, and that is to take and pass 3 different bar exams. I've come to know Mr. Pike over the past several months since he's come to work with us at Baker Donaldson. I have come to know him as an industrious person of intelligence and integrity. He'll be a credit to the bar, and I move this admission.
Thank you, Mr. Hicks. It's certainly a pleasure to grant your motion as well. I too joined in Mr. Hicks's comments that I would never dream of taking 3 different bar examinations in the time. And perhaps someone might question your intelligence, Mr. Pike, for doing that. But in all seriousness, congratulations on that. It is indeed quite an honor and quite a feat to have done all that. We're very happy to have you here in Tennessee now and a member of the Tennessee Bar, and very happy to grant that motion and wish you the best in the practice of law here in Tennessee.
Thank you, Your Honor. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, John.
All right, I think that concludes our individual sponsors. So we will go back, and I want to say a special thank you to Ms. Shepard for her willingness to volunteer her services here today for the introduction of our other new admittees and moving for their admission. She's always been a great asset for the legal profession and the judiciary. So Ms. Shepard, take it away.
Thank you, Your Honor. It is a pleasure and a privilege to be here today. And first, I would like to introduce Landis Barbour. Mr. Barbour is a graduate of the University of North Carolina at Charlotte and the Campbell University School of Law. He has successfully completed all of the requirements for membership to this bar. I therefore move Mr. Barbour's admission to practice before this court and the courts of Tennessee.
Thank you, Ms. Shepard. I'm pleased to grant your motion on behalf of the court. Mr. Barbour, we welcome you to the practice of law in the state of Tennessee. We wish you the best in your practice.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, next I would like to introduce Samantha Page Clark. Ms. Clark is a graduate of the University of Tennessee at Martin and also a graduate of the Lincoln Memorial University Duncan School of Law. She has successfully completed all of the requirements to practice before this bar, and I therefore move for Ms. Clark's admission to practice before this court and the courts of the state of Tennessee.
Thank you again, Ms. Shepherd. I'm happy to grant that motion as well. Ms. Clark, congratulations. We welcome you to the practice of law in Tennessee and wish you the best.
Next, Your Honor, it's my pleasure to introduce Jaime Enrique Colon Velez. Wasn't sure I'd get through that, sir.
Nailed it.
Thank you. He's a graduate of Hofstra University and attended and graduated from Belmont University Law School with honors including the Bruin Scholarship. And he has successfully completed all of the requirements to practice before this bar, and I therefore move for his admission to practice before this court and the courts of the state of Tennessee.
And I'm pleased to grant that motion on behalf of the court as well. Mr. Colon Velez, we welcome you to the practice of law in the state of Tennessee and wish you the best in your practice.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, Your Honor, I'd like to introduce Kenneth James DeSantis. He is a graduate of Vanderbilt University undergraduate and the University of Richmond Law School. And he has successfully completed all of the requirements to practice before this bar. And I therefore move Mr. DeSantis's admission to practice before this court and all of the courts of the state of Tennessee.
And the court is happy to grant that motion as well. Mr. DeSantis, we welcome you to the practice of law in the state of Tennessee and we wish you the best in your practice.
Thank you.
Next, it is my privilege to introduce Mary Kate Gladstone. Ms. Gladstone is a graduate of North Carolina State University undergrad and the Wake Forest School of Law with honors. And as I understand it, she'll be working with the United States District Court for the Southern District of Texas. Ms. Gladstone has successfully completed all of the requirements to practice law before this state, and I therefore move for her admission to practice before this court and the courts of Tennessee.
Happy to grant that motion as well. Ms. Gladstone, we welcome you to the practice of law, even though you will be in Texas, in Tennessee. We hope you'll return to Tennessee at the appropriate time as well, but we do wish you the best in your practice.
Thank you both very much.
Next, Your Honor, it's my privilege to introduce Krista Adele Leggett. She graduated from Fayetteville State University undergraduate and Valparaiso University Law School. And she has successfully completed all of the requirements to practice before this bar. And it is therefore my pleasure to move her admission to practice before this court and the courts of the state of Tennessee.
Thank you, Ms. Shepherd. I'm pleased to grant that motion as well. Ms. Leggett, we welcome you to the practice of law in the state of Tennessee, and we wish you the best in it as well.
Thank you so very much, and I'm glad you're pleased to make the offer.
We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I would now like to introduce Haley Victoria McNair. Ms. McNair graduated undergraduate from Mississippi College and the University of Mississippi School of Law. She has successfully completed all of the requirements to practice before this bar, and I therefore am happy to move for her admission to practice before this court and all of the courts of Tennessee.
I'm pleased to grant that motion as well. Ms. McNair, congratulations, and we welcome you to the practice of law in the state of Tennessee and wish you the best.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, Your Honor, I'd like to introduce Evelyn Osborn. She is a graduate of Bluefield State College undergraduate and Liberty University School of Law. She has satisfactorily and successfully completed all of the requirements for admission before this bar, and I therefore move her admission to practice before this court and all of the courts of the state of Tennessee.
Thank you, Ms. Shepherd. Pleased to grant that motion on behalf of the court as well. Ms. Osborn, welcome to the practice of law in the state of Tennessee, and we wish you the best.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, Your Honor, it's my privilege to introduce Samuel Adam Rocky. Mr. Rocky is a graduate of the University of Louisville and also of the University of Louisville Brandeis School of Law with honors, and he will be affiliated with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. He has successfully completed all of the requirements to practice before this bar, and I therefore move his admission to practice before this court and the courts of the state of Tennessee.
Pleased to grant that motion as well, Ms. Shepherd. Thank you. And Mr. Rocky, we're very happy to say congratulations and welcome to the practice of law in the state of Tennessee.
Thank you both.
Your Honor, it is now my pleasure to introduce Kyle Heston Stack. Mr. Stack is a graduate of Middle Tennessee State University and of the Nashville School of Law. He has successfully completed all of the requirements to practice law before the bar, and I therefore move his admission to practice before this court and all of the courts of the state of Tennessee.
Pleased to grant that motion as well, Ms. Shepherd. Thank you. And Mr. Stack, we welcome you to the practice of law in the state of Tennessee. Congratulations. Wish you the best.
Your Honor.
Your Honor, I now would like to introduce Patience Nicole Taylor. She is a graduate of the University of Georgia and also of the Cecil C. Humphreys School of Law at the University of Memphis. She has successfully completed all of the requirements to practice before the bar, and I therefore move her admission to practice before this court and all of the courts of the state of Tennessee.
Pleased to grant that motion as well. Ms. Taylor, we welcome you to the practice of law in the state of Tennessee as well. We wish you the best.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I believe that concludes our list, does it not?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anyone we have inadvertently skipped over? All right, very well. In just a moment, as Mr. Hivner had mentioned to you earlier, we're not done yet. You have to take the oath of office to actually be officially and formally admitted to the practice of law in the state of Tennessee. Before we did that, I do want to take just a second to say to those family members and friends that are watching through our live stream, congratulations to you as well. As I said earlier, we all know that certainly these law students and soon to be lawyers cannot have done it by themselves. So thank you for what you have done to bring them to this point in your assistance with that. And we're happy to share in your time of celebration here today, albeit in a different way than we normally would. So we're happy to do that. All right, if the new admittees now would please raise your right hand and repeat after me, we will administer the oath of office and make you formally a member of the Tennessee Bar. Okay. I, and state your name.
I
Taylor.
Do solemnly swear or affirm
Do solemnly
Swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
That I will
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Tennessee,
and the
and the
Constitution of the
Constitution
State of
of the
Tennessee,
State of Tennessee.
in the practice of my profession.
in the practice
The
of
practice of my profession.
I will conduct myself
I will conduct myself
myself
with honesty,
with honest,
With honesty,
fairness,
fairness,
integrity,
integrity,
and civility
and
and
civility
civility.
to the best of my skill and abilities.
to the best of my skill and ability.
So help me God.
So help
So help me God.
I would like to point out to you that that oath that you just took it is a new oath, and it's one that we've only done for some few months now in Tennessee. And our court purposefully redid that oath to focus more on civility in our practice. And be it through our profession directly, or certainly through our state and country today, civility is such an important part of what should be in the practice of law. So please take those words to heart. Don't simply repeat them. Look at them and understand their meaning, because you are now officially a member of the Tennessee Bar, and you have the responsibility as well as the privilege of doing that. So we thank you so much. We congratulate all of you. We congratulate the family members and friends that are with us. And we hope that you have a long and prosperous career practicing law in the state of Tennessee. And with that, I think that concludes our ceremony. So, Mr. Hivner, you may adjourn court.
Congratulations to all of you. This honorable court is now adjourned.
Thank you all very much. Congratulations.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.